Today we are looking at improving our children's behavior using the Montessori kind of way, and this kind of approach focuses on respectful parenting, and it also focuses on setting kind but firm limits. Yes, we are setting firm limits but kindly in a gentle way, but sticking to them. Yeah, so we are trying to make sure that our children learn and obey without us using punishment or bribes. So guys, I'm going to share with you guys 10 great tips of improving your child's behavior while you create a good connection with them. So the number one tip I'm sharing today is modeling the kind of behavior that you want them to learn. Modeling how you want them to behave. What do I mean by this? Be a model of you for what you want your children to be like. So if you want your child to be clean, you're going to have to model cleanliness in your home. If you want your child to not leave their plate down after eating, you'll have to pick up your own plate after eating and put it where it's supposed to be. When they see you do that, they'll copy and do the same. You might not even have to tell them to do it, they'll just do it. If you're the kind of mom that eats and drops, stuff in the house, they're going to model that. So if you want them to eat in a nice way, or you're teaching them that, after eating, you have to clean up your mess, take things away, they'll do exactly that. If you want them to be nice to people, if you want them to be kind, talk to them kindly, okay? If you want them to be kind to other people, talk to other people kindly. If you're bypassing someone and you say, excuse me, and then you pass, they'll do the exact same thing. They'll say, excuse me, and pass. If you're just pushing people around and passing, they'll do exactly that, yeah? So please do model what you want your child to be, yeah? So if you want them to speak in a certain way, you're going to have to speak in a certain way. If you want them to learn a certain language, you just have to speak that language. If you want them to learn how to share, you just have to do exactly that, and they will model and they will learn because they are copycats. Guys, this is the main point of what I want to share. The main point, you want your child to learn how to pray. Pray when they are watching, okay? You want your child to be a good father in the future, be a good father now in their life. You want your child to be a great partner in the future. You want them to have a great marriage. Model that right now. Be a great partner to your partner. Let them watch you be great partners to each other. Let them watch you have a beautiful marriage. They will model that as they grow, because they are learning while watching you. They are learning. So this is the best point of all, guys. If you want your child to be something, whatever you want your child to learn, the best way to teach them is by doing it yourself. Be their role model. Do exactly that. You're actually already their role model. So just model the kind of behavior that you want them to learn, and they will do exactly that. The other thing I'm sharing with you guys today is tell them what you want them to do instead of focusing on what they are doing that you do not want them to do. In other words, tell them what you want them to do more than what you want them not to do. You get me? Like, let's say your child is playing with blocks, yeah? And they're throwing them around the house, and you want them to stop that. How about you tell them what to do with the blocks? How about you tell them, you shouldn't be throwing the blocks around the house, but how about you construct a castle with the blocks? You know how to construct a castle? This is how you make a castle. So you can do this and this and this, and then you turn it into a castle. If you do not want them to throw clothes around the house, let's say your child has started school then, and you want them, every time they take off their uniform, to put it in the clothes basket. However, every time they remove their uniform, they're throwing it on the bed. And you keep saying, stop throwing your clothes everywhere. Stop throwing your clothes everywhere. How about you tell them, whenever you remove your uniform, put it in the clothes basket. Can you do it now? Put it in the clothes basket. So focus on saying what you want them to learn more, instead of focusing on what you do not want them to do, yeah? I told you not to do this. I told you not to do this. No, tell them, do this. Do this, okay? You want the house to be kept clean. They're throwing their toys all over the place. Instead of telling them, I don't want your toys all over the place, I don't want you to put your toys all over the sitting room, how about you say, put your toys in their container, put your toys wherever they're supposed to put them, maybe their cupboard or wherever. Tell them exactly what it is that you want them to do. Basically, focus on the good that you want them to learn. The other thing you can do is use routines so that they get used to those routines. So by routines, I mean like have a schedule that you follow so that your child gets used to that schedule. For instance, like when you wake up in the morning, what do they have to do first? So that they get used, like wake up in the morning, go, freshen up, brush your teeth, have breakfast, then maybe they can play then. If they have a tab, they can play with that tab, or they go for screen time, so that they know that every morning when I wake up, I do this first before I do this, so that you won't have to, add with them, your child waking up in the morning and then they get the tab and start playing with it, or they run outside to play. When you have a routine, they will know what they're supposed to do every morning when they wake up, so that you don't have to argue, what are you doing, why are you doing this, what are you doing that. Have a routine, follow it. The most important part about the routine is you have to follow it. Make it your daily routine, so that they get used to know it. They know the time they're having lunch, they know what they do after having lunch. Do they take a nap, do they do their work, something like that. What time they go to bed, even their body gets used to it. So when you do have a routine to follow, then you won't have to argue about most things, because they know when they have to do this, they know when to have fun, they know when to play, they know when to have screen time, they know when to do their work. So basically, have a routine, stick to it and follow it, and it just makes life easier. You have less arguments with your child because they know what to do, right? The other thing you can do is what we call redirection. Like if you're getting them to stop doing something, then get them to do something else. Give them another option, something else to play with. For instance, your child wants to play with your phone, but then you do not want your child to play with your phone. So how about you give them an option of how about you play with your ball? You have a nice ball. How about you play with that? Or how about you play with your car? Like, give them something else. Redirect their mind, because their minds actually easily get, redirected, right? So while you take away something from them, in order not to cause a tantrum, for your child to scream and shout and all that, you can do what we call redirection. Redirect them to something else. Give them an option. Okay, so for instance, your child is crying for ice cream in the supermarket, but you do not want to buy that for them because maybe you're feeling like they've had a lot of that, or they're crying for a sweet and you don't want them to have sweets because they will spoil their teeth. How about you offer them another option? You'll be like, how about you have an apple? That's a better option, right? So instead of just denying what they want, you can give them a better opinion, what you feel is, better. And then do not command them. However, what you can do is suggest for them to do something, or ask them to help you. By command, I mean, do not just give commands around, pick up your toys, do this, do that. Like I said, guys, these children are also humans. So the same way you would feel about something, the same way they might probably feel about something. So let's say if you're at work and your boss keeps commanding you to do things, go do this, do that, go do this, go do this, you won't be enjoying your work, right? However, if you're in a situation where maybe your boss suggests something, how about we do this before we do that, you feel more happy, more obliged to do it than when they just tell you, do this first before you do this, right? So same thing with our kids. You can suggest to them, hey, can you please pick up your toys? Instead of saying, pick up your toys, do this, do that, you get. Or you can ask them to help you, because through doing things with them, like I said, modeling behavior, they easily learn. So how about you ask them to help you to do something, but in other words, yet you actually want them to do it. Maybe you say, come and help me pick up your toys, right? They'll easily come. And by the way, kids love helping. They just love doing what we are doing most of the time. So how about you suggest, come help me pick up your toys? They'll willingly come pick up the toys, rather than when you command them. Or you can suggest to them to do something. For instance, please pick up your toys before we leave. Like you're going somewhere, you tell them, please pick up your toys before we leave. Please pick up your toys before we have lunch. Please clear the table after eating. Be nice, because I'm sure you also want to be talked to nicely instead of being commanded. So same way, do the same for your child. Then the other thing that you can do to improve your child's behavior is offering them two choices. Kids get to a stage where they want to make choices for themselves. Simple choices like you're dressing them up and then they tell you, I want to put on this dress, I want to put on this, I don't want that, I want this. So in such situations, you can give them two options to pick from, but both options should be options that you're actually okay with them choosing. Don't give an option you're not okay with them choosing. You have to give them two options where you're comfortable with any of the two options that they choose. For instance, when we are moving with our kids, many times these toddlers don't want to hold their hands. First of all, they don't want you to carry you, most especially kids that are 2, 3, 4 years old. Okay, 4 years are grown-ups, but 2 years, 2.5. Most times they want to walk all by themselves, so they don't want you to carry them. But then again, they don't want you to hold their hand. Yeah. So the child wants to move all by themselves, but most times they're going to fall or they're going to get themselves dirty, and it's still at some point you have to carry them and you don't want them to make you dirty. So you can give them two options. One, I either hold your hand or I carry you. So both options work for you. Or let's say you're moving with your child and you're going to cross the road. Now this is for the ones that are a bit grown up and they want to cross the road without you holding their hand because they feel they're now grown up a bit and you know they can't do it. But you're not about risking your child's life by letting them move without holding their hand. So you give them the two options you like. I either hold your hand or I carry you as we cross the road. So definitely they will choose a better option for them, which is most likely to hold their hand. But even that is an option that you're okay with because by holding their hand, you're sure about their safety, right? So yes, that also makes it easy for you to like have them do what you want them to do, but without causing a tantrum. Because if you just force things and be like, give me your hand, let me hold your hand, they're going to try to pull away the hand, they're going to start crying. There you are, he's causing a sin for you, you know. So give them options so that they feel like they're involved in their own decision making. The other thing is consider their requests most of the times. Choose to say yes moderately, but most times what I mean is you just have to choose your battles wisely. Like sometimes they make requests that when you say no, they're going to cause a tantrum, they're going to do this and that, and yet are you really in for that tantrum? Yeah. So how about you accept what they're asking for, but moderately? Let's say your child is asking for sweets. How about you say, okay, you can have one, because they'll be contented with that, but then you also, you know, avoiding the tantrum and all that will happen. So please choose your battles wisely. Yeah. Know when to say yes for certain things and when to say no. Sometimes we say no, but when it's just something so simple like a child wants to go outside and play, how about you tell them, okay, I'm letting you go out for just a few minutes and then you get back. Yeah. Or they want to have something, how about you say you can have a little of it, instead of completely saying no and having them cause a tantrum for you that you don't want to deal with. Yeah. Choose your battles wisely. Choose your battles wisely. The other way to avoid tantrums with your children and help them improve on their behavior is giving them a heads up. So how about you give your child a heads up before you take away something that they're enjoying, or before you stop them from doing something that they actually want to do. For instance, that a playground, they're having lots of fun and they don't want to go back home. So how about you say something like, I'm giving you a few more minutes and then we go home. Or something like, how about you go play on the trampoline and then play on this, and then after that we'll be going home. Yeah. So guys, give them a heads up, right? Let's say he's playing with his tab, but you want him to go and eat his food. Yeah. So you're like, after that particular game that you're playing, when it's done, you go have your meal. Instead of telling them, put the tab down, go have lunch, and then they say, no, I still want to play. Yeah. So please do give them a heads up, and that makes it easier for them to accept what you're telling them to do, rather than when you just tell them to stop doing something that they're actually doing. All right. So guys, I know the video is very helpful, so please do give it a thumbs up if you like the information I'm sharing here. So the last tip I'm sharing today is avoid overpraising your child, especially for simple day-to-day things. Don't overpraise them for simple things, because sometimes they will want you to praise them, and when you don't, they might not do something because you're not praising them, or they might stop doing something because you're not watching to praise them. So they're waiting for you to do it at a time when you're watching so that you can praise them. Of course they love praises, right? But sometimes it might affect them and they think every time they do something, someone must say good job, someone might say well done. No. So sometimes for simple things that are everyday things that they must do for themselves, please avoid praising them, and maybe say something like a thank you or good, but not things like, wow, you're such a good boy, you're awesome, you're great. No. You can opt for simple words like well done, thank you, good job, so that, you know, they don't think that, you know, I'm doing this so that I'm praised by mommy or because she's going to give me this. Just like I mentioned, let's not bribe them. Yeah. So let them not do things because mommy is going to say this, or because mommy is going to give me this when I do this, so let me do it so that mommy gives me this. No, let them learn to do the things that they are supposed to do and know that they're actually supposed to do these things, whether they are praised or not, whether they are, you know, given something or not, but they have to do these things, right? So guys, those are the 10 tips I had to share with you guys today on how to improve your child's behavior. If you do really like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and share it with other parents that would benefit from the information shared here. Please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and catch you in my next video. Bye.